It started with the chair. At first, it didn't seem important. Just an old wooden chair in the corner of the room. The previous owner had left it behind when the house was sold. I thought about throwing it away many times, but somehow I never did. Maybe because the house felt too empty without it. Maybe because the house felt too empty without it. For the first few weeks, nothing unusual happened. The house was quiet, too quiet sometimes, especially at night. But one night, something strange happened. I woke up suddenly. No noise, no dream, just that uncomfortable feeling, like someone was watching. The room was dark, but faint moonlight was coming through the window. And that's when I noticed something. The chair in the corner of the room was not empty. At first, I thought it was just a shadow, a trick of the light, but the shape looked wrong. The chair looked occupied, like someone was sitting there, perfectly still. My heart started beating faster. I rubbed my eyes and looked again. The shape was gone. The chair was empty. I convinced myself it was just my imagination. But the next night, it happened again. I woke up suddenly, and the same strange feeling filled the room. That feeling that someone was there, watching. Slowly, I turned my head toward the corner. The chair, and once again, something was sitting in it. A dark shape, perfectly still, facing directly toward my bed. This time, I immediately turned on the lamp beside me. The light filled the room. The chair was empty again. Nothing there. Just the same old wooden chair. But something inside me knew I hadn't imagined it. After that night, I started noticing small things. The chair would sometimes be slightly moved, just a few inches. Sometimes it faced the window, sometimes it faced the door, but I never remembered moving it. At first I thought maybe I had done it without realizing. Until the fourth night. That night I forced myself to stay awake. I wanted to see what was really happening. Hours passed. The clock ticked slowly on the wall. Midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Nothing. Eventually exhaustion took over, and I must have fallen asleep. Then suddenly, I woke up again. My eyes opened slowly, and the first thing I saw made my blood run cold. The chair was no longer in the corner. It was right beside my bed, close enough that I could reach it with my hand. My entire body froze. And sitting in the chair was a figure, a tall, dark figure, completely still, its head slightly tilted, as if it was studying my face, watching me sleep. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. The room felt colder than before. The figure didn't move. It just sat there, silent, watching. Then, slowly, very slowly, its head turned toward the door, like it had heard something. Then it stood up. The movement was slow and unnatural. Too smooth, too quiet. The figure walked toward the door and disappeared into the darkness of the hallway. The moment it was gone, I jumped out of bed and turned on every light in the house. But there was no one there. No open doors, no broken windows, nothing. The chair was back in its corner again, like nothing had happened. The next day, I checked the security camera I had installed in my room weeks earlier. What I saw made my stomach drop. The footage showed me sleeping peacefully in bed. Then at exactly 3:12 a.m., the chair moved, slowly sliding across the floor. No one touching it. It stopped beside my bed. Then something appeared in the chair. At first, it looked like a distortion in the air, like heat waves rising from the ground. Then the shape slowly became darker, forming the outline of a person. Sitting there, watching me sleep, after several minutes, the shape stood up and walked out of the room, but the most terrifying part came at the end of the video. Just before leaving the room, the figure turned toward the camera, and for a brief moment its face became visible. A pale face, long empty eyes, and a twisted smile. looking directly into the camera. Like it knew I would watch the footage later. I didn't sleep in that room again. I moved to another part of the house, but every morning when I check the room, the chair is never in the same place. Sometimes it's near the bed, sometimes near the window, and sometimes near the window, and sometimes it's facing the door, like someone is still sitting there at night, waiting, watching. So if you ever wake up in the middle of the night and you have a chair in your room, don't look at it, because if you do, you might realize someone has been sitting there every night.